You just got wrecked.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome week so far. Having a look actually right now at the time of making this video, Bitcoin is over $9,000. In fact, we're trying to push up to this level right here where we got to that $9,200 level. I do want to talk about the fact that we do still have a CME futures gap open at around $9,820. So is Bitcoin looking to close that gap? Well, that's not even the big news of the day. That is short term. I need to talk about the fact that we have had more billionaires and millionaires recently coming out talking about how they're buying Bitcoin, why they're buying Bitcoin. I'm going to get into that in just a little bit. But we also have data that shows that just the average retail person is looking to buy Bitcoin or hold Bitcoin rather than sell Bitcoin. So I want to talk about our fact that we are in this descending, broadening wedge, whether or not Bitcoin is actually headed for around the $15,500 level. And I also want to talk about the fact that we have a major victory from our good old buddy, Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan, who, yes, they have now changed their stance on cryptocurrency and they are looking to offer a crypto bridge for people to be able to buy and sell Bitcoin. And if that's not enough for you, I also want to talk about the fact that we do have Bitfinex hoarding a lot of Ethereum. And yeah, what is that all about? Do they know something that we don't? Is Ethereum basically looking to explode? I mean, you could see today Ethereum's actually up a little bit higher than Bitcoin, 3.15%. Bitcoin only up 2.5%. So we need to talk about that, all that today. If that sounds good to you, stick around. Today's going to be a really exciting episode. I hope you do appreciate it. And with that being said, if you're not subscribed, do consider it. And without further ado, let's hop directly into the chart. So I'm going to keep today's TA really short and sweet because honestly, not much has really changed in the past 2 days. We are still well above the 200 and 100 daily moving average. You can see we bounced off it once right here, and then we bounced off twice again. So we've had two confirmations, which means there was a lot of buyers essentially buying up this price level, showing that the bulls are still in control. Bitcoin is still putting in this nice uptrend. We are going to come to a little bit of resistance at around the $9,300 level. Maybe by the time you're watching, we could have already hit that level. We might be pulling back. However, if we can break above $9,300, put in a nice daily close, then I could easily see Bitcoin going all the way up to $10,500, even by the end of this week, if we can actually break those levels. Of course, you can see right here, as I'm making this video, we are literally trying to push up to that $9,820 CME futures gap right now. Also, we're holding well above the VPVR short term, which is around 8,800. Actually, if I zoom out even more, well, actually, if you zoom out more, it's actually closer to 8,700, but who's really counting $100 difference, right? But ultimately, we are going to get some major resistance in this blue box territory right here, starting at 10,000, and of course, $10,500 is the level for Bitcoin to beat. If Bitcoin can put in a nice, solid daily, even weekly close would be better, above 10,500, well, then I think the sky is the limit. And as we mentioned, we are in a descending, broadening wedge. You can see right here, Bitcoin has been bouncing around in this wedge. It's getting more and more volatile with each move up and down. You know, it's like a megaphone shape. And that does give us a target right here for the breakout. If we do have it, like I said, up to around the 5,484, let's just say, $15,500 level. So if we do break down, just if you guys want to know my bearish take on things, if Bitcoin does not break out and we get rejected, well, then I do think we'd get supported somewhere by the 200 weekly, which currently is around 5,800. So probably by the time it reaches, could we retest 6,000? It's possible, guys, but I do still believe that we are in that trend. And like I said, guys, last time Bitcoin put in 7, weekly candles, we pretty much went to the moon. So let me know what you guys think. We're still above the 50-day on the weekly. Everything is looking good. I want to keep the analysis super short and sweet. And also, I do have some big news today for people that are actually trading on Femex. Now, if you're not interested in leverage trading is extremely dangerous. It's very risky. I do not recommend it for beginners. However, Femex in 2 days is launching their spot exchange. And what's awesome is they're going to be doing zero trading fees. So literally you can buy and sell Bitcoin or whatever, any altcoins you want, as much as you want with zero fees. They just do one monthly charge. It starts at $10. If you guys want to do a different, that you could do $70 for the entire year, flat rate. That's it. And they're offering a free 7-day trial. And also if you go premium, you'll get a 30-day premium gift that you can give to a friend or something. So if you're interested in that, if you're not interested in leverage trading, you think it's too risky, you just want to buy Bitcoin, that's it, you don't want to pay fees, check that out. I will drop a link below. I also do have a tutorial popping up above if you're interested. I just thought that was pretty cool for beginners. You know, you just want to buy, sell Bitcoin. You don't want to deal with all the crazy leverage and stuff. I totally get it. But anyway, that being said, moving on, we do have a all-time high for our 30-day average for hash rate. In fact, if we actually go to the raw values, you could see that although hash rate is very sporadic because it's basically snapshots, we have literally matched the all-time high as of yesterday. So this means that the Bitcoin network is the strongest it has ever been in its existence. So I do think the halving is playing out, maybe not price-wise immediately, but hash rate, all-time high. Come on, guys. It's the most secure network in the world. And also, let's talk about these millionaires and these billionaires coming out and advocating for Bitcoin. We have Bill Pulte. Now, keep in mind, this did come out at the end of last year. Remember, he was talking about how he bought 11 Bitcoin. You might know the Pulte group, okay? He inherited a bunch of money. Anyway, so he says, cryptocurrency can help the world's poorest, especially those who are unbanked. As a philanthropist, I therefore want to promote adoption. Leave a comment why you need Bitcoin, and I'll pick one person to send some Satoshis to. And, well, he already did that, but now, just yesterday, he said, here are 3 things you want to keep your eyes on: Bitcoin, gold, and silver. And it's not just Bill Pulte. We have billionaire venture capitalist, CEO of Social Capital, Chamath Palihapitiya. I always say this guy's name wrong. I'm sorry. But anyway, long story short, very influential guy in the space. He was over on CNBC. He was actually talking to Joe Kernan, and he talks about, well, basically they were like, what would you invest in, you know, given the crazy situation happening right now in the economy? And he says he's still betting on Bitcoin. And you have to check out this clip because not only does he give his explanation, he also comments on Paul Tudor Jones' recent $100+ million investment into Bitcoin. But Joe Kernan also comes out and admits that he does own some Bitcoin as well. So we're going to play this clip and then we're going to talk about it.
You. We had Paul Tudor Jones on yesterday, and he was talking about, you know, QE infinity, however you want to look at it, and that maybe the time will come when you need to have some type of asset that there's a fixed amount of, and he was referring to Bitcoin. So I think maybe even Paul Tudor Jones.
Say the words. Say the
Bitcoin.
words.
I have to disclose that I own. I mean, compared to you, I own like 3 cents out of a dollar or something. You know what I mean? So, but I have to disclose that I own it. But Paul Tudor Jones made the case yesterday, and you know, yesterday was the halvening. The halvening was yesterday. So the stock to flow has now gone up.
So, Joe, this is again now you're seeing a lot of lines of different thinking converge. So when we started to believe in the long-term value of Bitcoin, it was as a store of value, and it was that schmuck insurance that you kept under the mattress. And there was a small cohort of us that have believed this for like almost the last 10 years now. But when you have people like Paul Tudor Jones, sophisticated market participants, who don't necessarily come to it from that perspective because he was probably first in gold or, curve steepeners or whatever, now all of a sudden, even he is looking at Bitcoin. And the reason is because we are in this massive deflationary spiral. And you have to figure out how to protect yourself. And so however you think about it, from a classic economic theory or the schmuck insurance where you're somewhat skeptical of the established governing masses, it is important that we have a hedge, a non-correlated hedge. And I still struggle to find anything that is as uncorrelated to anything else and to everything else than Bitcoin. And I think that, if we see it have its day, it's a moment where you're going to wish that you had just bought the 1% and just kept it.
And it's not just the millionaires and the billionaires investing in cryptocurrency. You can actually see that people want to buy Bitcoin and not sell Bitcoin according to internet data. And this is since March 21st. We have seen a massive increase on Google Trends for buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin halving was obviously surging the other day, right? It has cooled off since then. But here is the massive victory, the big news for Bitcoin. And I'm going to start with this tweet from Barry Silbert. So in 2014, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan says Bitcoin is a terrible store of value. In 2015, Bitcoin will not survive. 2016, Bitcoin is going nowhere. 2017, Bitcoin is a fraud. 2018, I don't really give a you-know-what about Bitcoin. And 2020, JP Morgan extends banking services to Bitcoin exchanges. So I guess if you can't beat them, join them, right? Inevitably, they all come around, and you can see right now, JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the US, is now currently offering services to cryptocurrency exchanges, Coinbase and Gemini, in a pivotal and critical turn for Bitcoin and digital assets going mainstream. Now, look, guys, I understand you don't necessarily need, an intermediary. Bitcoin doesn't need anyone to tell you could buy or sell. I get it. Bitcoin's peer-to-peer, but let's be honest, if you really want to get the masses in, most people are just comfortable using banks. It's kind of sad, but it's true, right? So this is going to harness in adoption. You have JP Morgan saying that Coinbase and Gemini customers in the US will be able to make automated clearinghouse withdrawals, or ACH withdrawals. You've probably seen those, and transfers, marking the end of the bank's anti-crypto era led by CEO Jamie Dimon, the industry's most outspoken crypto critic. And need I remind you of, kind of what Jamie Dimon has been known for in the past?
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says you fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
Right.
So this is the first time in history that JP Morgan Chase has actually onboarded any crypto clients. Keep in mind that the banking relationship will allow the exchange's crypto customers to complete withdrawals, wire transfers, deposits to and from Coinbase and Gemini, establishing a critical bridge for the digital asset ecosystem. Oh, and if that's not enough for you guys, our good old buddy DaVinci J has officially come out and he says he is selling his house for Bitcoin. That's what he's doing. I don't know. I'm going to play the video for you. Is he crazy or what? Or do you agree with him? Sell the house. You don't need the house. Get more Bitcoin.
So as you know, I agreed to sell my house with my wife because it was her idea really, and buy Bitcoins. And yeah, today she's having real estate agent come over and take photos, and so this is real to me now, and I'm like, oh gosh, getting nervous here, but yeah, it's the right thing to do.
So let me know what you think. Is DaVinci J15 crazy for selling his house for Bitcoin? I mean, who knows? He might be able to buy a house 10 times as large as his house today if Bitcoin does go to some of these crazy prices that we all think it will. In fact, I want to just talk about this another major whale transaction super quick. We had another transaction of 47,535 Bitcoin. This was not the same one as yesterday. This was another one. Now, some people are speculating that this could be Bittrex, the exchange, although it's not confirmed yet, but just to point it out, that's like well over $400 million in Bitcoin. That's a lot of money moved very fast across the world for a very small fee in a very short amount of time. Also, oh yes, Craig Wright, who, he has claimed to be Satoshi on multiple occasions. I think at this point we all know he's definitely not. People were actually referring to this Slack message that he had posted. This was back in 2018 where he said that he was going to sell a large volume of Bitcoin for USD right around the halving. He was going to crash the price and do a high leverage short and all this other stuff. Well, yeah, looks like that's just another thing he lied about because we didn't have any major, unless that was the little crash that we saw when we saw Bitcoin take that dip right before the halving, possibly. I mean, right now, Bitcoin's still sitting around the $9,000 level, so either he did it and he failed, or he actually hasn't done it yet. But let's actually talk about Ethereum today, because some people are speculating that Ethereum is going to be the next big coin to get into after Bitcoin. You're going to want to have an allocation of Ethereum. You can see right here, they're saying, oh, the Lightning Network could be in trouble because they now have Ethereum wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC, which is on the Ethereum network, which obviously is just a peg to represent Bitcoin, has now surpassed the capacity of the Lightning Network, becoming the largest second layer Bitcoin network. Yikes. So we have WBTC now has 11.2 million worth of Bitcoin, leaving the Lightning Network far behind with only 8.1 billion. And not to mention that, but I also want to point out the fact that, what Elias Samos said over here, there is now more Ethereum locked in Bitfinex than in the whole DeFi system, essentially. He says the balance of ETH on Bitfinex has increased from 2.5 million to 4 million. Over the same period, 3 billion Tether has been printed. So obviously there's that speculation that they're printing Tether to buy Ethereum. That's for another day, I would say. But the question is, why are they hoarding so much Ethereum? Are they just trying to be, positioned for when ETH 2.0 comes and we can stake Ethereum? Or what is going on here? Do they know something we know? Are you holding Ethereum? Are you betting on Ethereum? What do you guys think? Do they know something that we don't? Drop your comments below. Also, just want to kind of touch on this story real quick. You guys know that since October, right, the SEC has basically said that Telegram's $1.7 billion ICO, which is an incredible amount of money to raise, just going to point that out. Essentially, they were saying it offered an illegal security. Although Telegram did deny the charges, there was a clause that said they would return the tokens if they didn't launch by April 30th. Well, they didn't launch, so they did return the money to investors, and 2 weeks later, the project has officially folded. So it looks like another one, unfortunately, bites the dust. And also, guys, I think this is important. The IRS in the U.S. is soliciting contractors to audit cryptocurrency gains or losses. The solicitation of help comes amid the IRS's toughened stance on cryptocurrency tax evasion. So, guys, I know we want to, stick it to the system, but please pay your taxes, do the right thing if you're living in the US, okay? We still have to abide, by those rules, or don't if you don't want to. That's your call. I can't suggest you to do that. I pay my taxes. You should pay your taxes. That's the end of the day. But anyway, guys, let's create a decentralized bull run together. We have Ledger offering a 50% discount if you want to get a Ledger Nano S. You could try to win the free one that we give away every week on Monday. Drop a comment below, or you can just go get one right now for half off. If you use the code WeAreTheBullRun, 50% off a Ledger. I will drop that below in the description. Thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. Hope you guys found some value out of the video today. Let me know, what do you think? Is Bitcoin going to just hit that double top again? Are we going to dump down to that sort of $6,400 level again? Are we going to go lower? Do you think that the descending, broadening wedge is going to skyrocket Bitcoin to $15,500? Well, really, no matter what anybody feels, personally, we could go up and down for the next few months. But by the end of this year, I have a hunch that Bitcoin is going to be substantially higher than where it is today. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? I'm just a crazy guy on the internet, right? Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. Nothing is ever financial advice on this channel. You guys know that. I freaking love you. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.